Hello everybody and welcome to another edition of WWE How I Would Book It. How I Would Book It WWE 2015. This is Friday Night Smackdown. Here we go. I just have some stuff written down for the show. Okay. Without further ado, let's get it underway. So as you can see, Dolph Ziggler starts off the show with a promo about Daniel Bryan, and Dolph says, Dolph has this to say. Bryan has no talent. He got lucky at WrestleMania, and now he expects another shot. Someone should tell him his storybook ending had a tragic one, and now he's got to go to the back of the line like everybody else and work once again to get the shot. He's not going to get it hand delivered to him. I attacked Bryan because you people needed to wake up and realize Bryan isn't who he says he is, and you people have been brainwashed by Bryan and by everybody else who wants Bryan to come out looking like a rose. Sort of like John Cena. Only you people have woken up to John Cena. I'm trying to make you see who the real Daniel Bryan is. That makes this happen. And Cena comes out to say, he says, well, Dolph, at least Bryan doesn't come out here every week and complain about opportunities other people are getting. And Cena once again asks Dolph, where's the guy who was on his team back at Survivor Series against Team Authority? He says, you've changed, Dolph. Your attitude has changed. You have changed. And he's like, and then Dolph says to Cena, Cena, I haven't changed. You just expect everybody to act how you do. You're the one who has never changed. You're the one who might have changed because you can't accept the fact that not everybody acts like you. Not everybody wants to tell jokes and treat this like a joke, because this profession is anything but a joke, John. And when you look and you see a goat as your world, the company you work for gave a goat, or a guy who looks like he hasn't gotten a haircut in 5 years, giving him the world title to make him seem like the top guy in the company, that makes me embarrassed. So that means you come out every week and complain, Dolph? This makes him come out. And Seth says, I didn't know you were Bryan's babysitter, John. You say he has all this heart and dedication and all this good stuff about him, yet all this will to fight, yet you have to come out here and fight his battles for him? Yeah, 'cause he's a real man. Before this can go that far, Bryan comes out. And this makes, and he says, Cena, thanks for the help, but I don't need somebody to fight my battles for me. By the way, this has never, this doesn't last that long. this doesn't last that long because Brian says that you can fight my battles for me when it comes to talking, but when it comes, you may be able to talk for me, but that's just because I ain't much of a talker. I've always been a fighter, and that leads to a brawl breaking out between Dolph, Seth, Daniel, and Cena in the ring. After Daniel says, and we start Smackdown off with a bang. And then we go to a commercial and come back to this. A very disappointing segment. Christian says, this is my first match back, so I might be somewhat rusty. So but I want the opportunity to prove myself again. So I'm issuing an open challenge to anybody in the back to come out here and show me what you got. And Christian's challenge gets accepted by Bo Dallas. This leads to Christian dispatching Bo Dallas pretty easily, and we move to the next segment, which is Ryback backstage with Renee Young, and Ryback has this to say. While Renee asks, how does it feel to know you got the better of Rusev on Monday Night Raw going into your match this Sunday at Fastlane? And Ryback says, Rusev, I got the better of you on Raw, and on Sunday I will get the better of you again, because it's like I've said before, I am unlike anybody else you've ever stepped in the ring against, and I will prove that on Sunday. Because you try and knock me down, I will get back up. Because if there's one thing I don't like, it's a bully. And Rusev, you are a bully. And I eat bullies for breakfast, and I say, feed me more. Come Sunday, you will be on the mat, looking up at the lights and hear one thing. Feed me more. Feed me more. And then we move backstage, move to the announce position, where the announcers discuss Cena versus Seth Rollins on Sunday and Dolph Ziggler versus Daniel Bryan, but they also touch on the idea of, in their opinion, do they think that Randy Orton might get involved in the main event, which is Seth Rollins versus John Cena on Sunday. It's a tie. It's a tie because King is undecided, he doesn't know. But Byron thinks he will, Cole thinks he won't. But we shall see what happens on Sunday. Now the Dudley Boys get involved in their first match against the Matadors. And they dispatch the Matadors pretty easy in a decent match. But, with the fact that the Dudleys just debuted, we gotta start them off slow. Then we play a history package highlighting what happened on Monday Night Raw with the return of the Dudleys attacking the Usos, and then the short promo that they cut saying that they're back. Now we move to the promo, the interview. Renee asks, why did you come back? What is your intention being back at the WWE, and why did you attack the Usos? All Bubba says is, We attack the Usos because they have what we want. We have a proven track record of being the best tag team in the world. And we want to get tag team wrestling back on track in the WWE. And that's why we attack the Usos. Because for us to do that, we want the gold. And we want to show the Usos and the WWE Universe what a real tag team is. Which is something they haven't seen in quite a long time. And then Devon throws in, "Oh my brother, testify." Then we move as the announcers once again. Before the announcers touched on the pay-per-view matches, they touched on the pay-per-view match this Sunday with Daniel Dolph and Cena versus Rollins, but now they're touching on the tag team main event tonight, Dolph and Seth versus Cena and Bray. Now we move backstage. Ambrose is walking backstage and bumps into Fandango. Fandango says something to Ambrose. You know, the audio's messed up, so we really can't hear it. They start arguing, and after a bit, the audio comes back, and we hear Fandango tell Ambrose to meet him in the ring right now for an impromptu contest. And that leads to this. Dean Ambrose defeats Fandango in a pretty surprisingly solid match for an impromptu contest. Now we move backstage. Bray Wyatt comes up on the Titantron and another cryptic promo. But it is revealed that this Sunday at Fastlane, Bray will reveal who these cryptic promos have been about and make sure everybody understands who he's calling out. But once again, to reiterate like I've done every week since the Royal Rumble, these promos, Bray writes them himself. I have no say. I don't want any say. I want Bray to write it himself, and I'll just okay. That's it. He does it all himself. Why? I think because he does it in WWE himself, so why should I be any different if WWE gives him the freedom? Now we go backstage in the locker room with Daniel Bryan and John Cena discussing their strategy for later tonight, the tag team main event. And we go to a different locker room with Seth Rollins and Dolph Ziggler doing the same exact thing, discussing the strategy. And they don't end up as friends like Daniel and Cena do. They agree to disagree, and they agree that they don't like each other, but they're going to try and get along tonight to take down Cena and Bryan before the pay-per-view. Now we go with the Divas match, Paige versus Alicia Fox. Really, this was just basically to get Paige involved in a match before the pay-per-view. I mean, because she hasn't been booked for a while. Natty gets interviewed by Renee Young about AJ. Natty says something to the effect of, the Divas title picture has been pretty small for the last couple of months, and now I finally got an opportunity after months of waiting my turn. I'm gonna take advantage of my opportunity this Sunday, and the Bellas may think that they deserve a title shot, but they could be the first to get a title shot against me, because I will be a fighting champion when I pin AJ's shoulders to the mat on Sunday. Of course, this prompts AJ and Nikki to come out and say that, well, they deserve a title shot. Nikki says she deserves a title shot, and she's the only true diva. Her and Brie are the only true divas in the division, and would be the in the best interest of the divas division if they won the title. It's just becoming clear that it's not management or somebody in the WWE. It's AJ who's afraid of the Bellas, and that's why the Bellas won't get a title shot. And also Paige joins the fray and says that she deserves another opportunity because of the dusty finish 2 weeks ago when she challenged AJ. Because of the Bella's interference. And Nikki's clear on the fact that Paige doesn't deserve another shot. Natalya got lucky and had a fluke win to get her shot. But once she's out of the way, Nikki gets her shot, and she will get her shot and not come up short this time. This leads to a big fight between the four divas backstage. And then we have the big, huge, tremendous main event tag team main event with John Cena, Daniel Bryan, Dolph Ziggler, and Seth Rollins. And the match ends in a draw because of double countout and all four men not really paying attention to the ref's count because all they wanted to do was get at each other, because the tension between these guys, especially Seth and John, has been heating up and heating up and heating up since the Rumble. And now, going into Fastlane, things have reached their boiling point. And the fight just continues and continues as they go backstage, and the fight eventually gets broken up by a number of officials in two separate locations because Seth tries to get away from Cena and Dolph tries to get away from Daniel, and they go to opposite sides of the arena. And this forces arena officials to divide and conquer, and other wrestlers too, to split them up and save it for the paper. Seth runs away from Cena, but Dolph and Daniel stay in the ring. And eventually Seth and Cena get back, and agents, security, wrestlers are breaking up both fights as we go to black, and chaos reigns supreme on Smackdown as the show comes to an end. Solid show for Smackdown as per usual. Once again, I'm going to reiterate, guys, it was a bumpy road to start, but going into Fastlane, I couldn't be happier with how things are currently because my direction got over. What I wanted to see happen got over. It finally got over. Things aren't as bumpy as they were. They were really bad. I thought I was going to have to call it a prematurely. But looks like things are just, things are going incredibly well. Heading into the last pay-per-view before WrestleMania, and things will only get better as we head into WrestleMania. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time.